together. I was always trying to catch up to Zach. Mom started teaching him how to read, and she didn't want to let me get ahead for some reason. And so I was trying to read over Zach's shoulder, and that was kind of the theme going on as we were homeschooled together. I was always trying to, Zach was doing soccer, and I really wanted to do soccer, but I was, again, too young. So I was always trying to compete with Zach and catch up with him. And I think that is a big part of kind of who I am today, is that I was always trying, Zach was always propelling me to be more than I was at the time. And I really appreciate that about Zach. But there was one stark difference between us, especially when Zach got a little older, is that I started to be interested in girls, and Zach was interested in like lights and machines and fans and cars. And so I thought that I surely would get married first, and so Zach, you surprised me. There was one time I actually have a picture of it on my phone, but there was one time around like middle school or high school, Zach brought this girl over, and she's just laying on the ground on her phone, and he's just playing his guitar by himself. I think it's a perfect picture of who Zach was in middle school and high school. He was focused on the more important things. Yeah. I never expected Zach to be a musician. Well, not a musician, but a singer. Because Zach used to sing in Sunday school, and our poor friend Jared had to sit next to him, and the entire time during worship, Jared was like this. And Zach would belt his heart out in the shower all throughout high school. And it must have done something, because he is somehow leading worship, and that's great. But we grew up with it, and it was nowhere close to that. So props to you, Zach, for getting that figured out. That's the real miracle here.
Oh my God.
Zach also had almost an impossible standard for girls, I thought, at the time too, in high school. He wanted a musician and a singer and a really good cook and a supermodel and a millionaire and the right major. And I don't know how Zach figured it out, but like Cambria is like Zach, the perfect Zach like counterpart. Like when I can't think of a better person to be with Zach. And the fact that they can both make music together is amazing, and we worship together. I thought it wasn't possible when I was like 13 for Zach, but here he's again, exceeding things, and I'm so proud of him as his brother, and I'm really happy for Cambria to be a part of the family too. And yeah, here's to Zach and Cambria.
Woo!
And now the other brother, third try, is Gabriel.
It's good, just talking to it.
Is it on?
Not yet.
I can't hear it. Is it on?
It's like a clap. You have to tap more. It turns the volume up. You gotta blow into it.
Is it on yet? Okay. Oh, okay. It's on. Okay. So I wrote a whole speech, but I think I'm just gonna ditch that. So, okay. All right. So Zach. Oh boy, where do we begin? There are about a million things I could tell you about Zach, but I think I might get unplugged before I can tell them all. So I guess I'll just keep it simple. So I'm the third brother of Zach. The second brother of Zach, actually, the third youngest son. And Zach is pretty great. So he's the oldest, and he always took charge when it came to things. So if we were playing games, whether it be Legos or video games, Zach was the leader. He's the fearless one. And sometimes, one time I remember we were behind our house, and there were rotten tomatoes, and Zach had the lovely idea of throwing them at me. So that was great. Yes. But he was also fearless when it came to sports. And so we built this ramp actually right next to our house out of clay. And Zach decided he was going to be the first one to go down this ramp on his bike. He was so excited to go down. And so he started going, and he forgot how to ride because he flipped his bike over and somehow cut his neck a little bit. And so he came to church with this weird bandage, and everyone was just like, "What did you do? What is going on? Zach, what are you doing?" And so it was very funny. And so I'm glad that Zach survived because he met the perfect person for him. So Cambria and Zach are wonderful together, and I'm so glad that you guys have gotten to know each other. When Cambria first came over, I was like, wow, Zach is actually organized for once. I'm so glad. Yes. Amen. Amen. So I'd like to raise a toast to the newlyweds. All right, and next up we have James Chung.
Cousin James!
Cousin.
Alright, so I don't have like any Chad jokes or Papa Connor jokes, but I'll do my best. Okay, real quick, I just think it's really funny how Zach always has this like really strong influence over everything, and like even this wedding seems like very Zach-like for some reason. It's just really funny. And Cambria-like. But I'm just so happy Zach gets to marry his good friend today. So I first met Zach my freshman year at OSU, and we were both engineers. So we always had class together. We always went to real life together. And I won't lie, I'm not exactly sure how we became friends. We had some similarities, but in a lot of ways we were like very different. Yeah, he has as many like guitars as I have 2K games, so very different. But that's what I've always appreciated about you, Zach. Your friendships are more than just hobbies and just similar interests. Despite our different interests, you always felt like a brother to me in a weird way. I remember how one of our many bonds that first year came from how we were both half Asian and half white. We created an inside joke that he was our cousin, and eventually, somehow all our friends started referring to him as our cousin too. Even my own parents and my actual cousin. Our friendship reached a whole nother level though, sophomore year. I think you know this one, Zach. As engineers, we'd always spend insanely late nights in my dorm hall studying homework and that nature. And on this particular night, Zach had continually been joking about staying the night in my room because he didn't want to walk all the way back home in the dark because he lived at Antioch at the time. And we finished the homework, and about 2 or 3 a.m. He again joked about staying the night in my room. And at this point, I realized that he wasn't joking. So, reluctantly, I agreed to let him share my tiny, twin-sized dorm bed with my roommate who had never met him before. And ever since, we've been very good friends. On a serious note, though, I'll be nice. Zach, you've always been such a true friend to me, such a true friend to other people. You're very humble. You're a trustworthy guy. You're a trustworthy leader, and your love for Shrek is strong, but your love for Jesus is even stronger. It's just so amazing to see how you and Cambria have grown from Snapchat and garden party phases until now. If you know, you know. It's really cool to see your pure heart for Cambria, though, Zach, and how much you care about her. You and Cambria, I have no doubt that God will use you guys and your gifts in incredible ways. I pray that God would pour His grace and favor on you and your marriage, and just bless you with many, many Connors in the future. Alright, so let's all raise a toast to Cambria and Zach, because they never lost. Never lost.
Hi, I'm Jess. Cambria's maid of honor. I have had the privilege of knowing Cambria and Zach. Well, I've known Zach probably like 5 years or almost 6 years now. I've known Cambria for about 4 years. And I wanted to start off with how I met Cambria. And Cambria and I always joke about how we became friends because it's just ironic now. But the first week that girls move into Charis, they get to choose who they want as their small group leader. And I was a small group leader. So girls number who they want, number 1, 2, and 3. And I was number 3 on her list. But it's funny that we turned out to be best friends from it. So thankful that it all worked out. But that year was such a sweet year with being friends with Cambria because she's the type of friend that, like, she would know even before I would tell her I was having a bad day and would come into my room with ice cream and was always just so thoughtful. And yeah, I was just blown away even like at her bridal shower hearing girl after girl that she has impacted and just encouraged in their walks with God. It's like overwhelming how many people she's impacted. And for Zach, I got to know Zach better because I went on a missions trip to Cambodia with him. And this was back in the days when Zach had his long hair, so I have a very vivid memory of the hair. But there was one time we were driving in this huge bus in Cambodia. There was no seat belts, and the driving was crazy. And Zach was just sitting casually on the seat. We went over a bump, and in slow motion, he lifted up off the seat, and his hair went up, and he, like, bounced down the bus. So I'll never be able to forget your hair, Zach. It's always there. Or I also want to share Cambria. We saw Zach at the lowest of low points when he got food poisoning in Taiwan before an 18-hour flight. And I can tell you he was still a great guy, even then. But I know with the way that you guys have built your marriage or your relationship and now your marriage off of just having a relationship with God, I know you guys will carry that into your many years together. So I give a toast to Zach and Cambria.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm like 4 feet tall. There we go. I'm probably the shortest person here. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Katie. One of Cambria's bridesmaids, obviously. But I've known Cambria for at least 2 years now, and it's just really cool to see how the Lord's just really developed our friendship so quickly and just so deeply as well. And we met because I also lived at Charis, and we were in the same small group with Gracie, who's over there too. And we are, oh my gosh, our poor small group leader, Hope. She had such a rowdy group with the 3 of us in there, and we always had so much fun. We played Just Dance for one of our like entire small group meetings because that's what we wanted to do that whole time. And it was just really cool because it was an opportunity for us to really like grow close as friends and have fun and just like worship the Lord as friends. But it was also really cool because we had really in-depth conversations and talked about the Lord and really grew in our faith that year. And so it was such a powerful time for the 3 of us. And I just remember that at one point, Cambria, Gracie, and I made a page, and eventually another friend of ours, Kaylee, also joined, but it was called Second Floor Gorals. If you've seen Despicable Me, Gorals is how he says girls. But anyway, we made it to make fun of a page that Zach was running that was called the 9 Basement Boys. It was pretty legendary. It was a meme page. If you don't know what a meme page is, I'm really sorry. You're like missing out. You should check it out. But anyway, it was so funny. And so anyway, our small group was like super great. And obviously we built like so many memories off of that time together. And Cambria and I really got close though after she'd asked me to just meet up with her. And I think this is a really cool testimony to how deep her faith is. She asked to meet up with me in the mornings to do devotions with her. And we woke up, oh my gosh, it was like 7 a.m., like almost like every day to get connected through prayer and through the word, and it was just really sweet, and I just really valued that time that we had together, and it really showed me how deep her relationship was with the Lord, how much she really trusted him, and I just know that, Zach, you're just so lucky to have Cambria in your life, and she's just such a strong, godly woman, and so congratulations to you for getting her. But I know I said a lot about Cambria, but now I'd like to talk about Cambria, and that's obviously their mixed celebrity names, Zachariah and Cambria, so it's really cool. I met cousin Zach before I met Cambria, actually. And I met him because I was friends with John at the time, and I started going over to Antioch. And Zach was just beaming after garden party when I met him, and he told me a little bit about how much Cambria was like kind of into him about after getting his sign and stuff. And I was like, like I have no idea what you're talking about, but like good on you. Anyway, it was just really cool, and I honestly couldn't imagine how Cambria could resist his long, luscious locks, so. Anyway, after talking to Cambria a few months later, I found out that actually wasn't really the case at the time. I heard about the story about her getting his head leaned on him during the movie time, and I was like, wow, that sounds very romantic. But anyway, she wasn't completely opposed to being in a relationship, but she also wasn't sure where she was going, and she was really praying into it and asking the Lord for guidance, and I thought that was really sweet to hear her doing that. And after talking with Zach too, I can remember one of my favorite memories of Zach is I was on the worship team with him and some other guys from Antioch, and we had to go to a worship session at Calvary, and it was just so cool because one of the guys jumped in the passenger seat, and so it was me and the other two guys were going to sit in the back, but Zach got out of the car. He was like, no, you are not going to sit in the passenger seat. Let Katie sit there. Like, we're not going to have a lady cramped in the back with you other guys. And so it was just like so cool, like to see how much like Zach really respects people and like respects women, and I can just see that in his relationship with Cambria. And just like they're both so funny, they love music, and they love like praising the Lord together, and I think that just shows how strong their relationship is. And so anyway, I think it's really cool, Cambria, you're also like super lucky to have a guy like Zach in your life, like such a godly, strong man, and I just think it's really cool to see you guys really bonding together, growing in the Lord together. And so yeah, let's toast to Zach and Cambria.
Woo!
Hi, everyone.
Get closer. There.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm Zach's sister. I'm also the only girl in our family besides my mom and my bunny. But growing up with
Get closer to the mic.
Growing up with three brothers was very interesting. I played a lot of Legos and stuffed animals, and I was always kicked out of the boys' room with my pink stuffed animals. But it's so interesting because I feel like it was just yesterday that we moved Zach out to go to OSU, and now he's getting married, which is so crazy to me. Because I feel like it's just gone by so fast. I almost feel like old or something, even though I'm the youngest. I remember the first time I met Cambria, it was so funny because I just roasted Zach the entire time. She like walked in the door and I like pulled up an album of like embarrassing pictures of Zach, and I was like, here you go. And I completely roasted him, and we got home that night and I was like, I hope I didn't scare her away. Like, I hope she's not, his memory or her vision of him is not tainted now because I've shared all these embarrassing stories. But she came back and we saw her again and again. And now they're getting married, which is crazy again. I'm so happy and grateful to be a witness to their marriage and just in their life. I'm so grateful. Zach and Cambria are just an amazing couple. Zach is like the coolest person I know, which may sound funny to some of PJ is like not happy about that. I think Zach and I have a lot of similarities too, which is probably not something he wants to hear. But just he's so knowledgeable and intelligent, and he has so much to say all the time, which is so cool. I just get to like sit there and listen to him. And Cambria is just like, she's so wise and thoughtful. She like remembers everything. And yeah, I'm so grateful to be here in the midst of their beautiful time getting married. So to Zach and Cambria.
Woo!